Here we go. Woo!
I'm a,
We're all happy. Hey,
hey, what's happening?
glad you could join us.
Took me long
Um,
enough, huh?
you got the kids all situated?
As much as possible.
Okay. A lot of people out there have read my blog post, which kind of introduced you and our relationship. But really, the reason we're here is because, the whole nation is completely mortified that we all saw a murder happen right in front of our eyes. A man was murdered right in front of us, right after another man was shot just running down the road. And the first thing that comes to my mind is my sons. This could be my son. And we've seen it at a distance, but the more we're starting to see this is because of this generation, this day and age that we're in. It's because everything's getting video recorded, but that it's been going on for 400 years, and we've all been blind to what you have experienced. I'm starting to see it because now I have Black teenage sons. The fact that this has happened, I think, in front of our eyes is now waking up the white voices, which, my God, it is about time that we stand up for our Black brothers and sisters, my Black children, and try to bring some healing to this problem that our ancestors caused. We started this, and that's one thing that I don't think that we have owned. To learn the actual details is horrific. The white race went into Africa in 1619, which I know you already know this, but this is for people's education. Stole, kidnapped, pulled people away from their families, Africans, brought them to Europe first before they shipped them to America. So that's how Black people entered into America. Our white race did this. So now for years, the oppression has just gone on and on and on with the Black culture trying to gain a voice, trying to come out from underneath years of oppression. Let's just start with you telling me how you have felt over the past 2 weeks of watching all of this kind of come to a head.
Yeah, I was saying like when it first happened, it really made me want to do something like something irrational or whatever. But because that's like where I grew up. I mean, somebody hit you, you get back. I mean, that's just reality for me. So when it first happened, that was my first thought. People feel like people not listening. So they took to the street. Okay, you didn't hear us when we came downtown to court. You threw it out after you seen somebody on camera get, you know, killed or beaten or whatever the case may be. You didn't hear us in court. Okay, now is the reality check. That's why everybody is out right now. That's kind of what, excuse my language, kind of what pissed me off a whole lot because it's like, why do we continue to keep dealing with that system if it's not gonna work for us? Why should we even go down there? With us knowing already in ahead of time when these type of situations happen, that when we get downtown to this courthouse, that more than likely this stuff is gonna be threw out. These people are not gonna be found guilty for doing these certain crimes that we would be convicted of, based off of us not having enough funds to get a certain type of lawyer to, you know what I'm saying? So like that situation that happened recently was just like the fuse. That was the end of the fuse. The fuse been lit, right? And we were the fuse on this bomb, and it got to the edge when they killed him. And boom, you see what's happening in all these cities all over the country. And a lot of people don't know how to take it. I listen to all these different talk radio shows. They say, oh, well, we don't understand why this is happening. Why are these people taking to the streets? Why are they destroying this and stuff? You got to understand where we come from, man. Like, you got to understand. It's kind of like dealing with if you have a couple of kids and one of them you don't pay attention to. He's gonna eventually find a way to get your attention.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna find a way to get your attention because you feel like you never paid attention to him. You never cared about him. You never looked to see how he felt. You never sat down and had a conversation with him to see what's wrong with him. Why do he feel this way? Why is he angry today? Why, and that's how we feel in this country. We trying to figure out, okay, like y'all just going, okay, cool. We're gonna go ahead and do this. Since you're not listening, we're gonna make you listen. That's where we're
Yeah.
coming from with this, and that's why all this is just a big eruption. And for anybody who run around here saying, "Well, these people are thugs and stupid and this and that," or they destroying their own city, that means you never really been through nothing. Because if you can, if you can simply go straight to the thug word when you see us out in the street doing what we do, cause we angry at the moment, you should be trying to figure out what what's going on. I mean, or you should know what's going on actually, but if you don't, you need to be asking the question. Because there's a reason. We're not waking up one day out of the sky blue and say, "Oh, we're gonna go downtown and we're gonna cause hell." No, we don't wake up like that. We got
Right.
families too. We have kids. We want to live in. We want to do what we do. But stuff sometimes complicate that. At the end of the day, and we sick of it. At the end of the day, when you think about it, we just tired of playing. And that's what people need to realize. We sick of playing with people who don't want to deal with it. If you don't want to deal with us, you shouldn't be a cop coming in our neighborhood. If you're gonna come in our neighborhood and be a cop, you need to holler at us. You need to come talk with us. These people that come police our neighborhood, they don't build relationships with us. They don't talk to us. They don't do nothing. They might come over there every now and then and dunk a basketball in a hoop for the camera, and then they leave. That's not enough for us. I mean, they want they want some of our kids to come be cops, but what are you showing them? So that deters our kids. Be like, oh man, they just killed such and such on TV. Why would I want to be a part of that group? Why would I want to be a part of that organization? That's how our kids look at stuff. So it's a whole lot of deep rooted, uneducated type things going on in the world. And then some people just don't give a care. They just don't care. That's how they are. That's how they want to be, and they comfortable with that. And I'm fine with that. But just know that when you do that, it's a repercussion for that, because at the end of the day, we in our community, we ain't got no more cheeks to turn. I know y'all everybody know the Bible and all that, but we ain't got no more cheeks to turn. We just don't. We ran out of them. We done got hit on every cheek. So it's like I don't know what people expect us to do. I just don't know what people. Oh, we shouldn't go to violence. Well, this country was made on it.
What you're telling me is this is 400 years of building and building, feeling like your voice is never heard. It's another murder. It's another one. No one is listening. No one's going to jail for it. The riots is a result of trying to get their voices heard, because a murder happened. There were still 3 people who weren't even in jail for it. They're saying enough is enough. And who am I to even say, if I had been oppressed for this long and this many generations, and I had watched it in my own family, who's to say what I would do after watching someone stick their knee on the neck of my son, choke the life out of him? What would I do to try to get justice? Would I go tear up some buildings? Would I scream at the top of my lungs? I would probably do whatever I needed to do to get people's attention to bring justice. And I feel like that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
People are wanting their voices heard. Some for the first time. They're saying, for the first time, hear us, listen to us. Give us justice. Give us what we deserve as human beings, as all children made in the image of God. We deserve the same rights. In my blog post, I talked a lot about relationship. And so I want to kind of hit on that, because you hit on it a minute ago. You said the cops come into your neighborhoods. They don't know you. They don't take time to try to get to know you. So how can people begin to get to know people from another culture, people from the white culture, get to know people from the Black culture. So let's just talk a little bit about our experience and what you guys have dealt with and faced, even having white friends, and some of the stereotypes you've had to break through. How has Jarvis Phillips known Kelly Putty for the past 10 years and at all of our Thanksgivings and Christmases, and y'all are like my kids, and so how does that happen? So
I think, but to address your first question about how you meet other people, you don't force it. That's number one. Never force a relationship. Never force a friendship. Never force none of that. True friendship or brotherhood or with other people is gonna happen on its own. You don't have to force it. So a lot of people got that thing where they think they can, uh, they have to act a certain way or be a certain way to come around. You just be you, and it'll happen on its own. I don't work with every kind of person it is in the world. That's how I know some of the different type of people because I don't work a little bit of everywhere. That's how I met people working at JCPenney and stuff like that. So I met so many different type of people. And that's how I did, but I never forced situations. Some people would say, "Hey, how you doing?" And some guys I say, "Hey, how you doing?" And they'd look at me like, "Who are you?" Or they just wouldn't say nothing, or they might clutch their bag or something. And I'm cool with that's on you. That's your business. That you let me know who you were, so I'm cool with that.
I think I was either 15 or 16, and we first moved to Nashville. And we were staying at the Women's Mission, and we moved from Memphis, and you and your family came to the Women's Mission to help volunteer, and ever since then we built a relationship, and I call you my mom, because I don't really have a relationship with my mom, so that's how we met. And with Jarvis, he was really hesitant at first. It was like, who's these white people? I don't know these white people. What you mean? I don't want to meet these white people. But I just coached him into meeting different people and reaching out and getting to know people because he's not used to being around white people.
Yeah, she was more multicultural than me.
Which is true. But yeah, we met you at the Women's Mission. We built a relationship.
Yeah, to the point where we even helped with you at Halloween down there one time.
Yeah.
We just got to know you through that. And it's interesting because, I thought I was there to help your mother, and I was. But the whole time you're 15 years old and you're in the background helping us organize things in the house. I feel like more than anything, I was there for you.
Yeah.
And, God was planting something in you during that time to kind of open your eyes as to what his plan is for you. So then after that, you and I kept in touch, and I would go visit you and different things. But then you introduced me to this new boyfriend that you had. And you were telling me, yeah, he used to be in a gang.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all right. And you now have this new girlfriend who has all these interactions and with this white family, and she's saying, come on, we're going to their house for Thanksgiving. And you're like, what? Just kind of explain your thoughts during that transition time, we'll call it.
Let me tell you a question I asked. Can they cook? So one of my questions right there. I said, can these people cook? Because if they can't, I don't think I want to go. But all jokes aside, I was like, you know what, man? You sound crazy. You know what? I said, I just don't do this right here. I said, I didn't grow up like that. And I said, this is weird for me. I don't know if I want to do this. But she was just like, let's just go and just see. And you let me know after. And then whatever you tell me after, we'll roll with that. And I'm like, okay, cool. Cool. I said, okay, we'll go. And I'll be honest, it scared the you-know-what out of me. Like I said, you scared the hell out of me when I got out there because it was just like, I don't know, it was just different. I had never been around that many white people at one time. like in one setting. In one setting, it just made me. I just never at one time. It was like, dang, like so many people. I'm like nervous. I'm watching my behind. I'm like looking behind me when people walking and everybody coming up to you, touch, on the shoulder. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I'm not used to this. Like, what? Like, a couple times somebody grabbed me on the shoulder. I'm like, I want to ask, what are you doing touching me? Like, I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just new for me. It was scary. It was different. It was just something different for me that I just didn't quite understand. But I was thinking back in my brain based off of her because she told me a whole lot of stuff about y'all, and I was like, okay. Considering what she been through in her life, if she trusts somebody, it's got to be somebody good that she trusts because she don't trust a whole lot of people. She don't let a whole lot of people inside of her bubble. It's hard to get inside of her thing. She got a lot of. She done built a heck of a wall of bricks. She just don't let everybody in. So I just looked at it from that perspective, and I was like, okay, let me just go and see. And that's pretty much how I ended up. And then she was like, well, when the next year ran around, she was like, you want to go again? I'm like, okay, let's go. And then the rest is just hit. It just became natural. Then I ain't even look at it as going over white people's house. I just looked at it as going over friends, family, whatever.
So, how did your friends and family take seeing that? Because I know some of our pictures pop up on Facebook and all of that. So all of a sudden you're hanging out with white people. Did you get any comments from that?
Still to this day.
Yeah, my mama was cool. My mama was. When I first started coming around, my great grandmama, she was like, who are these people? And she told me, you better be careful over that, boy. But she even got to the point where when we got married, she was willing to come to see. But she just at that first beginning, she was like, boy, I done told you. She was like, I done told you, you better be careful over there. And she was born in the 30s and stuff, so she got a different insight.
What we have and what it even started as. Like you said, it's just y'all being real, us being real. It's not some kind of project to try to just go in and be friends with black people or white people. It is being who you are and sharing your heart with people and then bringing that friendship together. I got the chance to meet a lot of your family because we had y'all's wedding at our house.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun.
Even though they all complained about how long it took them to get to your house. But yeah.
But just getting to know your family was great. I'm sure it was good for them to get to know us. And, I feel like that is how you start breaking the walls down. That's how we just overcome this divide between our two cultures is through relationship. And I know it's been proven with us. Speak a little bit about what your life was like and how you ended up kind of in this gang life and how you got out of it and where you are now and where your focus is and the difference you're trying to make.
Oh yeah, so the gang thing came about by way of influence, of course. I seen it and pretty much just it kind of caught my attention because which was in like I was leaving 6th grade about to be in 7th grade, so I was like living. I had my grandma had came and got me from living in the projects to come to Madison, which was considered the suburbs at the time. When she took me out there, they really isolated me because in Madison, it was a few black people out there, but it was like almost 90% white people. So I was like kind of by myself out there. And it just was one of them things where I was like, man, I'm going to try to link the few black people who live out here. We're going to link up together and we're going to do something. So I took them guys that lived in the suburbs to the hood, and we just got it rolling from there. So, but that particular lifestyle was what I would consider treacherous. You don't know what's going to happen minute by minute. Like I said, I came accustomed to it by way of people that I had in my family around me and stuff like that. That was kind of, they didn't really say, hey, you should do this. But when they was doing it in front of me, so they didn't really try to keep me from seeing it. It's kind of like they wanted me to see it, and I was like, you know what, that's what I'm gonna do, because I feel like I don't got nothing else to do, and my mama then, a single mom, I'm like, well, she never home, so she can't stop me from doing this. So that's how I was able to get in it so early. She couldn't stop me. She was at work working 2 or 3 jobs, trying to make sure we had a piece of bread. My grandmama working 2 jobs. My mama was working 3 jobs at that time, trying to make sure we was good. So I was unsupervised majority of my middle school and high school years. So to me, I felt like I ain't have family at that time. I was looking at it like, man, these people don't even sit down and talk to me. So I'm like, I'm gonna make me a family, and that's what I did. And that's how it really came. That's how really the gang thing came about with me. It wasn't really no thing where I wanted to wake up and kill somebody or something like that, or I wanted to go beat some. That wasn't my thought process. But I just wanted family, really. That was my main thing when getting involved in that situation, because I just wanted family. But I just didn't know how to go about it, considering I was in 6th grade. I'm a kid. I don't know how to put a family together. How do I know that? I just know, okay, I know some guys I can run with that care about me, that fed me when I didn't have nothing to eat at home. So I'm going to roll with them.
What made you decide to get out of it, and how did you?
Well, when I see my first son being born, when I find out
And me.
and her, and she gave me a choice that if I want to be with her, you got to leave that alone. That was her. She gave me what they call that?
Ultimatum.
Ultimatum, whatever they call. I don't know how to say that word, but she gave me one of those. We sat and had a conversation after an argument one time, right before we got married, and she was like, "Look here, either it's gonna be them or it's gonna be me." Well, considering, like I said, I grew up feeling like I just didn't have a whole family. I was like, you know what, I need to do this. And I felt secure in her, considering all she had told me about her life. I'm like, if she let me get this close to her, she got to be who she say she is. So I trusted her. Yes, and she was younger than me. She was 18. We married when she was 19. So when you met her, she was 15. That wasn't that many years apart. So, and that's why I love and I appreciate her to this day. She gave up a whole lot for me. She could have told me, get out of my face, when I asked her to marry me. So I appreciate her. I never turn my back on her.
What do you want us to know? What are some things that you can tell us, that just some insight that you can give us, that we can learn and hear from you? Now is your opportunity. Just tell us. You're kind of laughing when I say that, but we all say stupid things, let me tell you.
Yeah. I do it every day, but I can tell you on this live, the stupidest thing I hear white people say is, I don't see color. That is the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life, because that is impossible. Whether it's just impossible for you to not see color. That's one of them scapegoat things right there, where you want to worm your way out of certain race situations that you should deal with. Instead of dealing with it, you say, "Oh, well, I don't see color. Everybody's the same to me." That's a lie. Everybody know that's a lie. That's a lie. Everybody know that's a lie. Everybody ain't the same. Everybody is not the same. Everybody know that. We come from different places, different background. We raised different, all that. So to say everybody's the same, that's just a lie, flat out. So that's one of the one things that get on my nerves that I hear. Oh, you all the same. Come on, man. Let's be real. Let's be honest, and let's quit lying to yourself, and let's get down to the real business, knowing, because people know in the back of their head. What I learned is, a lot of people are not as dumb as they try to pretend to be. They know what's going on. They know what happened. So a lot of people sit down and pretend like they need somebody to teach them about what happened to black people. You know what happened. You was here. You don't have to say, "Oh, well, what happened? Should I take a class?" You don't have to take a class. Open a book. You don't need a class. You got Google. Go Google. They'll try to redirect the way we do. Oh, well, you shouldn't do it this way.
You should do
it this way. Well, that's your way. Let us do what we do.
Right.
Or some people will say, like when we'll do a black event, well, oh, what are you doing? Is this reverse racism? Is just for black people? No, it is just for black people because we focusing on us. Because we the only ones can fix what we got going on. It doesn't even make sense for us to even call somebody outside of our community that don't know the turns, the ins and outs of where we come from. Why would we call them to come over there to try to do what we can do for ourselves? A lot of people take that the wrong way. Oh my goodness, that's reverse racism. Look at you, you're acting just like what's that white dude name in Alabama? George Wallace. They said you acting just like the black George. Well, somebody told me that online one time, and I'm like, you got a misconception. First of all, they ain't never had the power George Wallace had. That's number one. I never been George Wallace. I never had any power. I never been elected to any office. He had say so to control the whole state. That was never me. I'm just one kid in one area trying to help my own pocket, considering that I do got 6 kids. And I try to do what I can do out of my pocket, whether it's 10 backpacks, 1 backpack, or a sandwich, or bring some kids over to the house. My wife do study hall, whatever the case may be. We do what we can do with what we have, where we come from, because we know we don't feel like it. We know that's our duty to do that. We know what we're supposed to be doing. We know we're supposed to help where we come from. It ain't got nothing to do with no. In the equation of black empowerment, don't even involve white people at all, because it's called black empowerment for a reason. It's for us to empower us. It ain't got nothing to do with it. White people don't even come up in the equation. There's a lot of people who get online and quote the Bible and stuff like that, and if they read it, what God did with the children of Israel. Yeah, it was a lot of people in the world, but what did he do? He went in directed the children of Israel. For what reason? They needed that. That was they was out of pocket, so they had to get put back in place. So what if the rest of the world? What if people in Egypt was like, well, what about us, God, or what about whatever the case may be? What about any of the Philistine, whatever them people name is? What if they was marching and saying, well, all of us matter instead of just Israel? Like, I mean, if people put it in that context, maybe they'll understand it better. I don't know. For people to get mad and say, well, when they hear about black lives and they get mad and say, well, it's all lives. Well, okay, that's common sense. But who getting pushed the line on in the streets all day? When we wake up, we see that. So I mean, they gotta, and then people want to play like they don't see that. I mean, they lying.
This is the generation. I want it to be said that this generation stopped all of this madness, but it starts with the heart. I mean, the hearts of people have to change, and it's first through God, and it's building relationships. I know you had an experience with a woman at your work. She gave you a Bible, and just kind of tell me that little story so that people can understand how you even kind of gained a heart for God and all of this.
Oh yeah, it was I think it was when I was working at St. Thomas. I think it was St. Thomas. Yeah, I was working at St. Thomas. It was called Baptist then. I was doing cleaning up there, and then it was a lady. I was working at the Heritage, and I used to go up and I seen her all the time, and I just know one day she just came in. She didn't tell me about a particular thing, but she just gave me the Bible. And she was like, "You should read this." And
White lady, correct?
it was a white lady, which was still kind of weird to me, because when I first got it from her, I really didn't crack it open, because I was like, man, this lady trying to put something in my head. So I kind of was like, whatever. But I did read it eventually. It was more of a study guide type Bible thing, so I did read it. But it was just one of them things where she gave it to me and she was like, you should read this. You are important, this and that. And you are, do you know who God? She just was asking me a lot of general questions, and I was kind of wondering where she was coming from. I didn't know who she was. I don't remember her name or nothing. I know after she gave me that, I never seen her again. That's for sure. I never seen her again after that.
She was packing up her office because this was her last day. It was after hours. You were in there cleaning, doing janitorial work, and you ran into this stranger, and she just strikes up a conversation with you, gives you a Bible.
Had never talked to her. Had never talked to her because I had seen her a lot of times, but I had never had a conversation. I would come through, do my job, and I go home. So I never really used to talk. I used to have my headphones in. But that night, she just decided to talk. I guess, she just decided to approach me, and she did. She took it upon herself. I mean, I still don't know her name to this day. I haven't seen her at all. I don't know if she's still living or not. I don't know.
You started reading that Bible after she gave it to you?
Yeah. And that's when that was around the same time my wife now was telling me, like, I want you to do this with yourself. I want you to go here. And that's really what kind of, I moved from a certain area and I got with her, and I kind of was like I was stuck in the house away from my normal environment. So I was able to sit down, was able to think to myself. So I ended up reading it. And then I just started coming to terms with a whole lot of stuff done, a lot of stuff I've been through, stuff like that. And it made me gain a whole lot of appreciation for life, too, my life in general, because I didn't care about my life. So, I mean, it gave me that appreciation right then, because when I met her that day, when I went home, when I left to leave work, I had a gun with me. When I left, when I go back where I lived at, I had to have one. So for me, I was like living. When I got to work, that was my peace of mind. I was able to think at work when I got with her, and then I finally moved out that environment. But before I moved out, going to work was my peace of mind, because I was able to get out of there for a few hours a day just to think. So that was just, to me, that helped me. I guess they say evolve or something into where I am now, because I always told myself when I was 17, 18, I said I'd never do none of this stuff that I do now. I told myself I ain't gonna never have a wife. I told myself that a long time ago. I wrote that off. But that right there, her coming to me out of nowhere and giving me that, she didn't have to tell me nothing. She just gave me something that could tell me. Cause I think she probably figured, like, if I try to come preaching to him, he ain't gonna listen. And she was right. Cause had she came trying to preach to me, I would have wrote her off. I would have told her, who you think you are? Just come talking to me about this. I would just would have wrote her off. Because I would have felt like she don't even know me. How do you know where I've been at? She don't know me.
I think a lot of what we've been hearing is service. I mean, we need to serve each other. And one way that we can break through this divide is by going into these places that need our help, serving, creating relationships, getting to know one another. And I see you guys doing it. I mean, you're not just going to talk about it. Y'all are in there doing it yourselves.
Yeah, me and my little crew. We done, when we was on the east side, we would it was people living on the Ellington Parkway. Me and my brothers went down there because most people go down in the daytime when it's quote unquote safe, or whatever you want to call it. People go down there when it's safe, and we went down there at nighttime and really went down there and treated them people like people. And we went down there. We to this day, I got a few of their cell phone numbers. A few of them had cell phones, and I got their numbers still to this day. I text them here and there, and we went down there and helped them. I ain't gonna say what we gave them. We gave them a good amount of stuff, not just a sandwich. We gave them stuff that they can actually use and stuff like that, and just let them know, hey man, I'm around if you need me. Like, we go over there with intent to serve. We go over there thinking about them, not us.
So is there anything else that you want to make sure that you tell us as the white culture, what you guys need to hear right now, what we can do? How can we serve during this time that's so critical in this world?
I think by listening and less. I think more listening and less trying to compare uh, certain situations to ours. If your friend or somebody you associate with that's black and they got a problem, just listen to them. Don't say, "Oh well, I've been through that too before, man. So it's not that bad." No, just listen. Just listen. Quit trying to water it down. Put too much ice in the cup. We don't need no ice in the cup. We don't need to water it down. We need it to be straight shot. We need a straight shot. No chaser, as they say. We don't need no chaser behind it. We need it straight. So, if you see us and you don't know what to say, just don't say nothing. Because sometimes that's good too. Cause I think my grandmama taught me that if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing. So you can use that advice. Just don't say nothing if you don't know or you just uneducated. Just don't talk about it. Just wait till you able to be able to have these conversations comfortably, and then you can try to approach somebody. But never approach somebody with, "Well, I've been through that too," or you don't know, or you wasn't living. You just 20 years old, or you just 30. Well,
Out of these
my family
30 years.
is tore up down through generations based off of some of this stuff. I mean, people gotta understand that. Like, it just wasn't them that suffered through that. We got granddaddies and my great grandma was born in 1918. I ate dinner with her. She died in '03. I was around. I was in ninth grade with her. Like, I grew up all the way to ninth grade with her. She told me a lot of stuff. So, and she was around when people couldn't move around on their own. So it was like she told me this, and I just was like, it was kind of, take you back a little bit because you didn't think people would treat people like that.
Yeah, and a lot of it's breaking through stereotypes. My son told me last week that he was pulled over last week by a policeman, and as the guy approached the car, before he even asked for his ID, he asked him, "Do you have drugs or do you have a gun?" It shouldn't matter whether you're black, you're white, what kind of car you drive. No one should be approached and asked right off the bat, "Do you have drugs? Do you have a gun?" before they even ask for your ID or before they even ask why they pulled you. He never heard why they pulled him over. He never said.
They never tell us.
The second cop had pulled up while he was back sitting in his car checking his ID and all this stuff. Second cop pulled up. So I'm just like, I ironically have 3 black sons and 3 white sons, and I can equally compare the two as to how they're treated. There's no comparison.
The pulling over thing, man, like out there, they kind of got it. Like, where I grew up at, that was we'll pay for that treatment because where we come from, you get pulled out the car. We don't. They don't ask us nothing. As soon as they pull up, get out. You don't get out, they taking you out. It's not no. It was never a situation where they pulled me over and they was like, "Hey, how you doing today? Well, let me see it. Nah, get out the car now." And they always, anytime I got pulled over, it was always 3 of them at a time. I never got pulled over with one cop in my life. And when I lived, and then what gang you running with? What's this? What's that? Who is this? Who is that? Who is this guy you got riding with you? Who is this? I got pulled over with my wife. And they treated me like I had just done a crime. They didn't find nothing. They said, "Well, who smokes in this car?" I'm like, "Nobody smokes in this car, dude. You think I'm crazy? Nobody smoking in this car. I don't even like smoke. You think I'm gonna smoke in my? Come on, man." And he like, "Yeah, somebody smoke. I'm gonna get the dog out here." So he got his dog out there. He called the gang unit, and he called a couple of. By the time all the cops got there, it was a total of 12 cops. This was crazy because it was like, by the time all of them got there, was 12 cops on one little bitty dude, as skinny as I am. What can I do to one of y'all? 2 of y'all. Like, I'm little. I'm not that big. And like I said, they yanked me out the car. They had me out in the back of the car, and they just treated me like I just, literally just committed a crime, and they saw me and I took off running or something. They just pulled me over, and the excuse they gave me at the ending of that was, your tinted windows did look a little dark, but it was just because there's no street lights on this back road. So you literally pulled me over for nothing. That's what you just told me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're seeing it, and again, we're not saying all cops are bad. These are our own personal experiences. We're speaking from experience. That's what we're doing. And just telling what you've experienced, what my kids have experienced, friends I know have experienced. And this is where we are. This is a shaking going on for all of us right now. All of our eyes are being opened to where we knew it's been going on, but not to this level. I mean, I think just like with the black culture, saying enough is enough. I mean, we're right there with you. And so that's why we want to learn. We want to educate ourselves. What can we do? And how can we stand with you?
I would just say this: go do some history. Like anybody, just go do some history. If you honestly don't know, go do some history. Today's time, like in college, is real multicultural. Everybody hang with kind of everybody, but they don't kind of cross culture lines. They kind of just, well, I know him, but I just know him from school. I don't know him at home because just knowing somebody on the surface is just not, especially if you're trying to fix something, you got to get past the surface on that. And it happened to me every day. Bro. I know it does. I know people see me, especially now. They see me, and I got a million of them. I mean, it is what it is, and I don't force nothing, man. I meet who I meet, and whoever I don't, I don't. I associate with whoever I want, and whoever want to associate with me. I really don't associate with a whole lot of white. I know y'all the most white people I know. I don't know no other ones like that because I just haven't. Still, what we live at now is not. It's still not a lot of white. Some white people live up the road, but they don't. They rode a horse down here the other day. But beyond that, I just don't. We don't really see white people in our neighborhood still because we still kind of stay where we stay at, and white people still kind of stay where they stay at. So, but them relationships can be had on their own. But we first gotta get peace with us before we have peace with any other with any other group of people. See, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. But people can have individual situations on their own. But as a group, we got to get peace with each other before we have peace with the whole group of white people. And people got to understand that. And if they don't, it's on them. And they can take it. They can be mad about it if they want to. That's fine. That's cool. And then, maybe they don't want to participate. Cool. That's on them. We really ain't focus on that, where we come from. We really focus on rebuilding what we got going on, rebuilding families where we come from, and getting
and building each other up.
Yeah, and getting black families together and working together and rebuilding and getting these healthy relationships amongst each other back intact. That's our main focus out here. We can't keep running. We got to do that right there because that's gonna help our generation, our future generation in this world right here. So that's what we really focus on. That's what I wake up every day thinking about. How can I be a better example of a black family? Not for nobody else watching, but for me. Because I never seen it. Yeah, I want them to see the example. Because you can tell somebody something all day. I want to show. And that's my thing. I wake up wanting to show my son what it is to be a man. I want to show. My wife want to show the girls what it is to be a woman. I want to show them what it is to have the true love of a father and stuff like that. I want them to know that. So that's what I wake up focused on, and I buckle down on that every day because I didn't have that. So for me, that's what I'm very passionate about at this time in my life, and so that's what I'm doing. So, but I would say that's my last thing. Just check on some history. If you sincerely don't know what's going on or don't know the history, go read a book. Go read or go ask your granddaddy, the one that might not even like black people. He'll tell you some truth. He got some in him. He might not be what you want to hear, but he got some though, cause he been there. Yeah, he been there. He know.
And just their relationship.
And the relationship building is not I met you on Monday and Friday we best friends. It takes time. This a build. It's steps. You don't wake up one day and then next day is just everything is, oh yeah, okay, cool. I know everything. Nah, don't work like that. Because it took me a long time to be like, okay, I'm gonna let these white people take a picture of me at Thanksgiving. It took me a long time to be like, I asked her, why they keep tagging us in these pictures on Facebook, man? You know what I'm saying? When I first did it, I'm like, why they keep doing this stuff? That's weird. So it's a step. Yeah, it's steps. So it's like, yeah, it's step to it, and I'm like, yeah, we gotta, yeah. It takes time, like everything else does. It takes time. It got an age on you. So.
Well, you're exactly right. Love everything you just said. You're very wise. You guys are very wise, especially for your age. What you've been through, your life experiences have just put a lot of wisdom in both of y'all. And now you're living it out for your kids. You're being great examples. in your community, and you're giving back. It's you guys. I'm just super proud of you. Um, and we all can learn a lot from you. And I just thank you for educating us, being there for us.
Black peace matters. That's my thing. I'm a person that pushes black peace because that's what we need. That's my goal. That program is black and black is the program. We need that. That's a critical program for us to have where we come from, and we do that. I got my other brother. He got a group called Nashville Soul. We do that. That's supporting like local, small little black businesses, trying to help people come from same neighborhoods we come from, but they want to lift themselves out of where they came from, and so they started a business, maybe baking cakes or detailing cars or cutting trees down. So we got that program together for that purpose and making sure they're able to come up out of that to raise their kids and get them out of that cycle. So that's another program. I know another program called the Brothers Round Table, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the brothers at a round table putting ideas together to go out into the community. It's another program called Dads Against Destruction, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Dads Against Destruction, trying to save these young kids from going into these juvenile systems at early age and ended up in the penitentiary in the late age. It's just so many programs out there that that we link up with or associate with at one time or another that's doing tremendous stuff down here that I look up to. They the one who really, a lot of them gave me inspiration to be like, okay, let me go do something. I was seeing them. I'm like, I gotta go do something, even if it's a little bit. I gotta go do something. So a lot of those groups, I can't think of all of them, but them some of the ones that I got a lot of respect for. Just thinking off the top of my head, so few. I know you know Clemmy.
Oh yeah.
She's still down here doing her thing, and so the Nashville Peacemaker, she down here.
If we truly want to make a difference in this world, there's no excuse. There's so many groups out there. There's so many ways to serve, and it is getting outside of yourself is the best thing you can do. Giving of yourself and serving others. That's when your mind is truly opened. I live my life doing this in Africa, but we can do it with our next door neighbor. You don't have to go to Africa to serve and give. You guys just named off about 10 different groups making a difference downtown.
Look up John Brown. That's a good person to look up. Look into. If white people want to know who they can look into John Brown.
All right. Well, we love y'all. Appreciate you. Thanks for sharing all your words of wisdom with us. And we'll see you real soon.
All right.
Thank
Peace.
you.
All right. Peace.